There are secrets that do not hide in ancient books or dusty scrolls, locked away in hidden vaults. Some secrets live in your own body, and one of them rests right in the center of your belly. That small vortex of skin, that almost invisible circle you pass over when looking in the mirror, is not a biological accident or merely a scar from birth. It is the remnant of something sacred. It is a portal, an energetic antenna, a forgotten threshold. In ancient times, many cultures understood that the navel was the first center of power. Through it, we received life itself, but from it too, we can lose our vital force. The human body, wise in its design, maintains that opening as if to remind us, here is where everything began. Here still flows your energy. What most people ignore is that through this point, your vital strength can also escape. Yes, as if you were leaving a crack open through which the purest essence of your being pours out. The unexplainable exhaustion, the lack of focus, the feeling of being empty or drained after certain interactions. This may not come from outside. It may come from that subtle loss, right at your center. But what would happen if you decided to seal this point? What would occur if you covered it, not out of shame, but out of power? What if that simple action were the key to retaining your energy, amplifying your intuition, and recovering the inner fire you once felt, but now seems dormant? The body is a map. Every scar, every point, every subtle threshold holds meaning. And the navel is one of the most ancient and least understood of all. Before you took your first breath, a cord connected you to existence itself. That cord was cut at birth, but its energetic signature remains. In many esoteric traditions, the body is understood not as a collection of organs, but as a sacred architecture filled with hidden gateways. The navel is one of the most powerful. It is where the physical meets the subtle, where material life once entered, and where spiritual energy can, if left unguarded, perpetually escape. This is not superstition. This is embodied wisdom, the knowledge that ancient cultures possessed and that modern understanding has forgotten. When you learn to seal this portal, to honor it, to activate it with intention, something shifts. Your energy consolidates, your presence amplifies, and the world around you begins to respond to a different version of you, one that has remembered its power. Long before modern medicine defined it simply as an umbilical scar, the navel was venerated as a symbol of origin, power, and sacred connection. In diverse ancient cultures, this center of the body was not merely a residue of physical birth, but the visible echo of an invisible connection, an energetic cord that is never truly severed. Through it flows a current of subtle information and vital energy. In Vedic India, the navel was known as Nabhi and considered a fundamental point of the subtle body. Within the chakra system, it sits near the third chakra, Manipura, related to inner fire and personal power. Certain tantric lineages spoke of a secret chakra, the lower bindu, housed directly in the center of the navel. Whoever mastered this point could awaken the balance between the physical and spiritual worlds, because the navel is the equilibrium between what nourishes and what is given. In Chinese Taoism, the navel is closely related to the lower dantian, the body's center of energetic gravity. Taoist sages understood that there dwelt an invisible cauldron where internal alchemy was cooked. Practitioners of Qigong maintained attention and pressure on the navel to preserve qi and prevent its dispersion into the world. In Mesoamerican cultures, especially among the Mexica and Maya, the navel was a symbol of cosmic centrality. The Nahuatl word, Yolotl, understood as heart or center, was energetically linked to the solar plexus and navel, viewed as an intersection between worlds, the material plane and invisible dimensions. The four-petaled flower in Aztec codices represents the center of the universe and reflects the human navel. Even in esoteric Judeo-Christian tradition, the body was described as a temple. If the heart was the altar, the navel was the point of entry. The Song of Songs mentions the navel as a rounded cup, never lacking wine, a metaphor for power flowing from within. Over time, these teachings were displaced and ridiculed by rationalist discourse. The body became a machine, and the navel merely a forgotten button. But spiritual traditions knew what science has yet to acknowledge, that small indentation is the mark of our connection to everything, an energetic port that, if left open and unprotected, becomes a pathway for vital energy to escape unseen. The navel, though ignored by everyday awareness, is a point of convergence where vital energy organizes, concentrates, and projects itself outward. It is the invisible eye of a sacred lock. It has no eyelids. It does not close by itself, and if you do not seal it consciously, it becomes an open valve. Energy flows in, but your power also leaks out. Imagine your body as a chalice, a sacred vessel containing the finest oil, your essence. If that chalice has a crack at its base, no matter how much you fill it, it will never be full. The navel is that base. During the day, you interact with dozens of people and absorb environments charged with noise, hurry, and foreign intentions. All of this impacts your subtle field. But few know that the navel acts as a center of energy absorption and emission without filter, especially sensitive to intense emotions, invasive gazes, and charged words. From this perspective, protecting the navel is wisdom. Just as you close a door to preserve heat in winter, sealing the navel helps conserve your internal energetic temperature, preventing vital reserves from dissipating without your awareness. Here enters an ancestral practice that has survived among healers, yogis, and guardians of hidden lineages, covering the navel with a small disc, cloth, or finger intentionally during key moments. This is not superstition. This is spiritual science. This is alchemy of the body. This simple act activates a chain reaction within your energetic system. The body, upon noticing the seal, redirects its flow like a river that finds containment and deepens its channel instead of overflowing. What once escaped now condenses. What was lost now refines. There is a direct relationship between the navel and the enteric nervous system, the second brain, located in the abdomen. Connected to the solar plexus, it governs not only digestive functions, but also intuitive perceptions. Have you never felt an emptiness in your stomach before your mind understood something? Or expansion in your belly during gratitude? When the navel is sealed consciously, the bioelectric field of the abdomen strengthens. Emotional clarity, intuition, and available energy amplify. It is as if, by closing that door, all internal lights shine more brightly. Each time you touch or cover it with intention, that invisible cord activates, like dialing a secret number on a cosmic telephone. In the instant you decide to cover your navel with consciousness, you activate an ancient alchemical mechanism that transforms your interior. It is as if a key turns in a forgotten portal. And then you begin to hear what has always been there. In the most ancient, esoteric teachings, the human body is a living copy of the universe. a perfect microcosm. The navel is not only the physical center of the body, but also its primordial energetic anchor, an epicenter through which vital currents circulate. It is here where inner fire can be kindled or extinguished. When you leave that point unprotected, the external world has free access to your energetic field. It is like living with your house door ajar. Any emotional current or foreign vibration can filter in and reorder your inner harmony. Your body acts like a poorly tuned radio, picking up static and spiritual noise. But when you cover that center with cloth, a small crystal, or the pressure of your hand, you create a sacred container where your energy concentrates. This act unleashes adjustments in the subtle system. First, your auric field densifies, becoming more compact and stable. Invisible cracks where energy was leaking begin to seal. This reinforced field protects your nervous system from external interference and amplifies your capacity for focus, intuition, and personal magnetism. Second, energy that was dispersing outward begins to circulate upward, spiraling up the spine. Instead of dissipating, it channels itself into what many traditions call the sacred oil or the dew of the soul. The cerebrospinal fluid represents this inner nectar that rises when everything is aligned. This upward movement activates key glands, the thymus, thyroid, and pineal. The pineal gland, considered the seat of the soul, begins to receive clearer signals. By sealing the root, the antenna of the soul rises with greater clarity toward the higher planes. And here is where the inexplicable occurs. Some report absolute clarity. Others describe internal visions, lucid dreams, or profound peace. This is not fantasy, but a vibrational recalibration, a reorientation of your inner axis. The sealed navel also produces a powerful effect on the emotional plane: self-containment. You learn to hold your energy, to not give it away. Your field becomes magnetic through authenticity. What once escaped now transforms into presence. It is not enough to know that the navel is an energetic portal. True power activates when you integrate it into daily life through simple, constant, and conscious acts. Esoteric wisdom is not meant to remain locked in books or distant rituals, but to illuminate your everyday existence. And in this case, the first step is treating your navel not as merely another part of the body, but as the sacred center it truly is. Each morning, before entering the world, cover your navel to protect your energetic body. Use cloth tape, a hypoallergenic bandage, or a soft patch with an intention, a solar symbol, a spiral, or a flower of life. The key is intention. As you do this, say mentally, "With this seal, I conserve my energy. What I am belongs to me." This small morning act serves as an invisible shield in dense places, crowded spaces, or interactions where you normally feel drained. Throughout the day, place your palm on your navel and breathe deeply. Imagine golden light entering through your navel and expanding inward. This practice calms your nervous system and reconnects you to your center. It is an anchor. When everything spins, return there. Some traditions use essential oils, frankincense, myrrh, palo santo, or lavender, applying a single drop to the navel. These act as activators of cellular memory, for the navel responds well to subtle substances. Try this before spiritual practices or when you need to recover inner strength. Observe your emotions as you seal your navel. Many report notable emotional transformation upon beginning this practice. Do not be surprised if stored emotions surface. The seal not only preserves energy, it also prevents old emotional patterns from entering as before. It is an exercise in inner sovereignty and self-respect. If you notice real changes in your energy, concentration, or emotional state after practicing for several days, share it through example, not imposition. Magic spreads through authenticity. When others ask why you seem more centered, peaceful, or luminous, that is the perfect moment to explain. Everything began with covering something as small as the navel. These practices require no blind faith or elaborate ceremonies, only presence, coherence, and consistency. The body responds when listened to. Your energy, like an intelligent river, flows better when its channel is protected and honored. In a world that constantly pulls you toward the external, screens, noise, hurry, endless stimuli, speaking of the navel as a center of power may seem eccentric at first. But when you look with deeper eyes, you understand. This is not only about a physical center, but about a symbol of return to yourself, to the nucleus from which your life emerged. The navel is the physical testimony of your first bond with existence. Before you took your first breath, before your eyes opened to the world, an invisible cord nourished you with everything you needed. That cord was cut at birth, but its energetic trace remains. And like every portal, it still waits. It waits for you to recognize it, to seal it, to activate it, to honor it. This is not superstition. It is a subtle declaration of spiritual sovereignty. It is telling the universe, I recognize my center. I gather my energy. I reclaim my power. And when you do that, you transform not only yourself, the world around you changes too, because your vibration changes. Perhaps you have felt, more than once, that something in you escapes, that you feel drained, that at day's end, you are empty without apparent reason. Maybe it is not physical exhaustion, but an invisible energy leak, a loss occurring silently from a point you never considered. And now you know. Now you can seal that leak again, close that threshold, and transform it into an altar. The navel is not just a scar. It is a dormant seal of forgotten magic. When you honor it, when you protect it, when you listen to it, something in you remembers. You remember your power. You remember your connection to everything. You remember that you were born whole, with a sacred map inscribed in your body. Today, I invite you to stop searching outside for what already lives within, to experience this practice with an open mind and willing heart. You do not need to change your entire life at once. Only place attention on that small center each day for a few minutes, and observe how everything begins to transform, as if a secret wheel started turning. The portals most worth opening are not external, but internal, and your navel is one of the most ancient and powerful of them all. When you learn to seal it, you learn to hold yourself. When you honor it, you honor the source from which you came. Remember, the most powerful portals do not open outward, but inward, and your navel is one of them.